Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here today. I am, of course, Gregor Guy.
My name's Casey.
And for your extreme viewing pleasure, we will be presenting episode 30 of the Bangcast. Now, what are we going to talk about this week?
I don't know. You didn't tell me anything.
I didn't tell you
So I'm
anything.
going in blind. I don't know what we're talking about. If I come off like an idiot, it's because I am, but otherwise...
Fair enough, but I specifically made it a point not to tell you.
Okay. What are we talking about?
We are going to talk about how the world has gone completely fucking insane.
Okay. See, that's everybody knows that.
Okay, well, I mean, let's just start off with obviously a prime minister candidate, I believe, from Japan. Is his name Shinzo Abe?
I saw something about that.
He was assassinated. Right. Now, this is also the term that the media has put on it because he is a person of prominence.
Right.
If he was any normal person, guess what? He would have just been murdered.
Correct. You have to be famous or somebody important in order to be assassinated.
I mean, that's fair, but at the same point in time, why is one human life different than another human life?
Well,
because you have more followers on Twitter.
We can also say that. So if somebody killed a movie star, would that be an assassination or would that be a murder? Well,
I mean, okay, let's take John Lennon. John Lennon was assassinated,
right?
So they say.
I think you have to be a politically active person in order to be assassinated. I think if you just kill a movie star, then that's a murder. But you have to be somebody, a politically active or a well-known politically active person to be assassinated.
But aren't most of the actors and actresses in Hollywood kind of political activists in their own way, shape, or form nowadays?
Yeah, but nobody listens to them.
But I mean, at the same point, you understand what I'm saying.
Right.
With your definition of,
you have to have you have to have some kind of political power or backing in order to be assassinated.
John Lennon didn't have political power or backing.
He
was always doing his own thing.
He was at the time he was very influential to certain people in politics.
Of course, so are actors and actresses nowadays.
Yeah, but nobody listens to them. They're not important. They all do it, so they're all just a bunch of just people talking, spouting off at the mouth. Just like everybody else that doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about.
I mean, that's. I'm not going to say that's not accurate, but at the same point in time, I mean, this would be an interesting question for older, our prior generation. Mm-hmm. Did they think the same thing about John Lennon?
I think
that's a good question.
There's like Elvis's and there's Michael Jordan's and there's just people that are like their greatness kind of transitions out of what they do to be more important to the normal person. I'm gonna say it that way. I guess I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say, but
yeah, because that really didn't make any sense.
He was so well known that he was known out of the artistry that he did. Out
of his, particular circle.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if that came out right.
No. Well, I mean, I'm following you now.
So. Like Michael Jackson is a singer, and you don't have to be a music fan to know who Michael Jackson is. Everybody knows who Michael Jackson is.
Well, the unfortunate thing is, everyone knows Michael Jackson for one particular claim.
People knew more.
Realistically, never really.
Before that claim, people knew Michael Jackson more than just somebody who just loved his music.
That's right. I mean, motherfucker made Thriller.
Right. Everybody knows who Michael Jordan is, and even people that you don't have to be a basketball fan to know who Michael Jordan was, one of the greatest basketball players of all time.
Yeah.
If not the best.
I mean, that could potentially be debatable.
everybody knows who Babe Ruth is. So you don't have to be an old school fan of baseball to know who Babe Ruth was one of the greatest players of all time.
I mean, he got a candy bar named after him.
Right.
Enough said, right?
Right. I mean, Teddy Roosevelt had a teddy bear, has a stuffed animal named after him. The teddy bear. The teddy bear is named after Teddy Roosevelt.
Supposedly.
Factually.
Supposedly.
Maybe I'll do a Banghead history on things that you don't know was named after, why things are named after the things that they are.
I'd like to know what kind of product gets named after me.
I don't know. I wouldn't even begin to guess.
I'll tell you right now, yours is going to be ginger sauce.
Ginger sauce. I think that was already named before me.
I-
You have to create a new item to be able to name it after me.
I don't think that's an actual item.
Ginger sauce?
Ginger sauce.
I would imagine. I would think if ginger is a spice, I'm gonna guess that somebody's made a sauce out of ginger before.
Work in progress. Either way. But yes, in particular, did you know anything at all about the Prime Minister of, or...
Prior to his assassination? No.
Right. Okay. He was apparently from the brief amount of research I did, he was...
the former Japanese Prime Minister.
Right, but he was very, very well liked by, the people in country. And obviously he was, worked very well with the, United States administrations throughout the year. So, I mean...
There's kind of like a parallel in politics to the United States and Japan. I'm not an expert at Japanese politics at all, but from what I did see is that there is an Antifa I don't know what to call it, an uprising. There's an Antifa segment that is in Japan politically that calls anybody who they consider to be conservative or to love that their country or be nationalistic, they hate those people, and they call themselves anti-fascists, although they use violence, which is to further their political gains, which basically is a segment of fascism.
Sound familiar?
It's just like there's parallels in the politics of the United States, and this guy was a anti-fascist, and he made homemade guns, because I do not believe that guns are a staple of the Japanese social life as they are here in the United States. These guns were made with some kind of barrels and had duct tape, and they were homemade guns. It was a homemade weapon of some sort.
Well, I mean, you think about the staple of Japanese culture and everything was the samurai kind of
right
thing. I mean that was obviously huge during World War II and everything.
Right.
So I mean, either way, it's.
I don't know the gun laws in Japan.
I don't either, but it's more or less. Either way, it's a sad event that this particular man was gunned down in relatively cold blood,
right,
shot in the back.
At the same time, I mean, not saying
I'm
that.
Just saying that the entire world has gone crazy and lost its mind.
Right.
So that's what we're going to talk about.
I don't know where this.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to
Right.
the people of Japan and his family.
I don't know where these anti-fascist type people have come from. I believe that the internet itself has either has extremized. I don't know. Is that a word? Has made more people aware of certain extremisms and people that are unhappy with the way things are or how their life has gone are attracted to these extreme ideologies.
Let's talk about the internet, social media. I have been saying this for over it seems like 12 years. I've been saying that social media is just a toxic environment that just breeds more toxicity.
That's because people are attracted to negative things.
Why?
That's human nature.
No,
it is human nature.
It didn't used to be.
Well, people in their own lives want good things, but when they hear about other people, they look at the bad things and the negative things. Like you can be the greatest man in the world, right? You make one mistake and you do one negative thing. Everybody remembers that negative thing you did. Like, for example, like we brought it up earlier, I brought up Michael Jackson. The first thing that you thought of was the thing that he was accused of. That one negative thing.
Accused,
right?
I mean, yeah, but I mean,
but it is a negative thing. When you think of Michael Jackson, you don't think automatically right off the bat how great his music was.
I still think Thriller.
Right. Thriller is one of the greatest things that.
No. It was the greatest music video I think of all time.
Right. It was. It's definitely remembered to this day. But the first thing you thought of was the thing that he was accused of, not that Thriller was the greatest video that was ever created.
I don't know. We'll have to review the footage. I think I threw Thriller out there before I don't
know. It's possible. I don't know.
I have to double check. Not saying it, but anyway, going back to social media and the internet in general. I do agree the fact that toxicity kind of like breeds more toxicity, and then the cesspool of just angry and bitter people is so much larger.
Right.
I don't understand why people can't just, put your phone down, walk away from the computer.
It's an addiction. People have an addiction to the internet. They have an addiction to seeing outrageous things. They have an addiction to posting these outrageous things, and they have an addiction to getting the reactions from people, whether negative or positive. They just want to be noticed.
So you're saying it's more or less a psychological kind of
100%
thing going on,
and the social media companies, they know this and they want people to keep watching so that they can get money from advertisements. So they feature these things and their algorithm pushes these things.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's move on to that. Algorithms. Why would these particular social media companies and everything? Why would they push for, in particular, it seems like one narrative, or one more side of a narrative, versus telling everyone the whole story? Do they think that division? This is probably actually going to be the question. Do they think that division actually pushes more traffic?
I'm sure it does. Everybody takes one side or the other, and the internet companies feel like one side is more right than the other, and they punish people according to their point of views. And division. And people like division too, especially when people have a great life. Like people have never had it better in the world ever in this country than they ever have. They have everything they could possibly want and opportunities that they could possibly want. And maybe they're not happy with the way things have gone in their life in particular, but if you take a flight today and go try to live the same life you're living somewhere in Saudi Arabia or Afghanistan or any of those places, you're shit out of luck. Because first of all, you have to be able to protect yourself in those countries, especially being not from there. You're a bigger target.
Seemed like you wanted to go on a rant there.
Yeah,
so I was letting you roll, and then
I'm gonna taper it down a little bit. Basically,
calm down, calm down. Well, I mean,
basically, okay. But my point that I was trying to get at is that when everything is going great, people still feel the need to find an enemy when there's no enemy to be found. They look deeper and harder, and they have these assumptions that there's this underlying threat around, and the harder they look for this threat, they can find it anywhere. They can find it everywhere. It's all around them.
Okay, well, I mean, I kind of understand your point on that, but I mean, that also raises the question: why? Why can just for once in the world everything just be fine and dandy? Why can't we all just get along?
That's not human nature.
I mean, but it should be.
I mean, shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's just not how we're built psychologically.
I don't know. I think. I don't know.
You think
I still hold out the hope of the possibility, obviously, that maybe one day before I leave the face of this earth, that possibly that shit happens. I don't know. I know it's wishing. I know it's fucking a fucking goddamn home run ball.
There was a who's the guy that played the Batman in The Dark Knight Begins? I'm trying to think.
Oh, Christian Bale?
Yeah, Christian Bale was in a movie where I don't remember the name of this movie. I'd have to look it up. But everybody in the world took this drug to numb their feelings. Equilibrium. Okay.
You actually made me watch that movie.
It is a great movie, by the way. I definitely recommend watching Equilibrium.
Right. Yes, art and everything was illegal or
right.
Some shit like that.
So it basically numbed feelings, and the reason why there's no war. I mean, there's definitely a lot of murder in that movie, but human emotions are the things that drive us. There's jealousy because of love or hate, and there's you think of the emotion, and you can find a negative side to that part of the emotion, and everybody feels like they're entitled to one thing or another. I'm all over the place, but you have to know exactly what I'm talking about. People are not built to be peaceful, stationary creatures. We are built to be movers and shakers, and we have ambitions, and we have wants, and we have desires, and not all of those things can be fulfilled in the same way for every single person.
Well, at the same point in time, every single person's wants and needs are going to be different.
Right.
So, I mean, that's...
Right.
I mean, that...
We're all different, and that's part of... It's not a problem. I don't want to call it a problem. But we're all different, and that's something that...
Without, having, unique personalities, I would say, it would fall into, basically a, herd mentality.
Right.
You don't want that, because guess what? Then no progress happens.
Right.
This is what I'll say.
Yep.
Very philosophical this week.
Right.
All right. Get ready for this one.
All right.
Why in the fuck does it seem like every single fucking day when you turn on the news, look at your phone, whatever, it just seems like mass shooting. What has gone wrong with society today that these, particular individuals who are, okay, I mean, obviously we're probably going to touch on this, but they are, mentally ill, just feel that they, need to go out and murder people.
They want to be famous.
But they're not. I mean, do you remember the name of any of these, mass shooters?
Well, see, I think there's a segment of people that idolize these people, and the problem is, I mean, obviously, it definitely pushes the news because most people are disgusted by it, and disgust is one of those emotions that pushes media coverage, as well as all strong emotional feelings. But there's segments of people that aren't happy with their lives. I mean, obviously they're mentally ill to start with, and they see these people as heroes, or they want to be just like them, or they want to be better than them, and they feel like they can understand them. And
go on.
I mean,
understand them? How can you understand what's going on in someone else's brain?
They just feel like they were bullied, or they're I see the reason why I couldn't do something like that is because I don't understand it. But there are people out there that, especially in mentally ill people, that would do extremely violent and things that a normal person wouldn't do. They see these people as a group that they want to be like or compared to. Maybe they want to try to up the body count or whatever. They want to.
Okay, well,
maybe they're competing against them. I don't know. I don't know the answer to it 100%.
Okay, well, first of all, none of them are going to beat that guy in, like, I think it was like Sweden or something.
Well, I don't know who that is anyways.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he got like 167.
Right.
Don't quote me on that. But obviously, not gonna. Like I said, I actually, for once in my entire life, I applaud the media for not using these people's names.
Yeah, that's what they should do.
So so as far as you're talking about, like fame and recognition and everything, guess what? They're not going to know your name.
Well, I do know the guy's
name. So it
name.
Boils back down to mental illness.
I do know the guy's name in Texas because somehow or another it got out. I can't remember where I heard it from, but it's still out there. If you look hard enough, you can find anything.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. I mean, yeah.
I mean, even YouTube. If you look up on YouTube, you can find all the videos of these mass shootings. First of all, I think those videos should be taken down in order to unpopularize it or make it so that just pretending that something didn't happen.
Well, at the same point in time, those videos that are up on YouTube, they are typically from like police and news sources, right? Correct.
I mean, if you want to make the world a better place, and you want to take down those kind of videos, any video that has anything to do with a mass shooting, then do it, because the less people can be influenced by, even if no matter how negatively the video views these people, they people still feel like that they associate with themselves more than the person that's disgusted by it.
Well, on top of that, I mean, it's still out there for public consumption.
Right.
So there's still going to be a chance that
just remove it, and it won't be out there for public consumption.
But I mean, at the same point in time, that's gonna that leads down a dark and tricky path as to okay, well, is this one good? Is this one okay? Or not good. And then you lead into certain like censorship issues and everything, and that's obviously been a huge thing going on with these in particular social media companies.
I think if you polled or tried to speak with people in populace and tell them this is why we're doing this, I think 90% of people would agree.
Right.
On that
does
specific issue.
But I mean, the thing is does that give these particular companies the leg to stand on to be like, yep, that's not good.
They already do.
That's not good.
They already do.
Yep, that's not good.
They already do.
I'm aware.
So I mean, what's the difference?
I mean, Christ, we got to strike for a picture of a. We won't even talk about it. For a picture. We got to strike for a picture.
There's mentally ill people. There's people out there that think different than us, and there's people that are just mentally ill and want to cause harm, and they see fame in that, whether they live or die.
Yeah, but I mean, it just seems like, and I mean, this is where I'm going to blast the media. Okay, because it just seems like anytime that more than 3 shots are fired, it doesn't matter how many people are wounded or killed or whatever. It seems like they just want to classify that as a mass shooting.
I mean, even the Japanese Prime Minister, the administration in their thing, they're talking about, our prayers go out to the Japanese people, blah 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 blah, and then somewhere in there they added in, gun violence affects everybody. What the fuck? There was a fucking gun created by a fucking some like hardware material somebody could build in their garage. What are they talking about? Gun violence? Gun violence isn't a problem in Japan.
The barrel was made out of bamboo.
Yeah.
There you go. You heard it first.
I don't know what it was made out of.
I don't know that for a fact either, but
they added that in for no fucking reason whatsoever.
Well, I mean, that's just to kind of drive their fucking narrative home.
Right.
Realistically, that's another problem.
We don't have gun problems in this country. We have gun problems in their cities, and that's because they have gun control in their cities.
Right. Well, I mean, and I've said this many a times. The fact of the matter is that criminals are going to be criminals,
right.
Even if you outlaw firearms.
Yep.
Guess what? They're still going to get them. They will smuggle them in. They will, steal them from, police officers. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction that if they actually did outlaw guns, you will see the amount of police-involved crime go actually way up, while these criminals are attempting to secure how they make their living, basically.
Right.
Being criminals. Criminals are criminals. Period, end of story.
I just hope
what else do you fucking say? Criminals are criminals.
All I'm hoping for is more criminal body bags.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that one, but
I'm going to invest in the body bag business if we have open carry all over the country.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, I mean, also at the same point in time, you are correct. These inner cities and everything with so much, gun restrictions and firearm restrictions, everything. There's a reason why the crime is so much. Well, the rate is so much higher in those particular cities versus like other cities that don't particularly, enforce to that extent. Right. You know what I mean? I mean, let's just take like New York, LA, California, or I mean, not California, jeez, DC, Baltimore, Chicago,
right,
Detroit. Highest murder rates in the country.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know what else to say other than, the goddamn fucking world has fucking lost its goddamn mind. And, it's fucking pissing me off. It's fucking freaking me out. I don't know what else to say.
Stop looking at the internet.
I really don't what. I don't. I do my own thing, but you still hear about this shit. Even if you don't watch it, you still fucking hear about this shit.
You're letting them win.
God damn it, keeping the goddamn blood pressure medication fucking big pharma in business.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one too. Big pharma.
Yep.
I mean, you're now on blood pressure medication. In fact, you fucking had to cuff yourself when you was over here earlier.
I just wanted to know what my blood pressure was.
I don't even check anymore. I don't care. I'm just waiting for my head to fucking explode. I'm just. It's gonna happen. You're gonna be fucking. It's gonna be like a scene out of The Boys. You're just gonna be covered in fucking blood, like goddamn. The one dude just ran through with the one guy's girlfriend. He's sitting there holding her hands right at the beginning, first episode.
I bet that'll go viral.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's.
What is that movie, Scanners, where people were staring at other people, and then they were fighting with their minds, and then one person's head would explode. I think that was what it was called.
No,
it's an old movie from like the mid '80s.
I don't remember. I remember. You remember The Men Who Stare at Goats?
No, I've never seen that.
You've never seen that?
No.
Oh my god!
Is that a newer movie?
No, it's probably from like 2000.
Why were they staring at goats?
Okay, the basis of this movie is obviously this might have to get cut out, but the basis of this movie was there was this guy in the army who instituted a program and actually got approved for this program where basically they would just take acid and mushrooms,
right,
and then they would stare at goats and try and get them to explode. And it actually happened once. So then they got more funding and more fucking recruits, and there were a bunch of people that were just taking acid and mushrooms and shit and just trying to stare at goats and make them explode. It's I'm telling you, I can't believe you haven't seen this movie. Mm-mm. It's pretty fucking hilarious. Oh shit! What was the guy who was in it? I think George Clooney was in it. I think Jeff Bridges was in it. Jeff Bridges, yeah, and Ewan McGregor. So I mean, they had a decent cast and everything.
I'm starting to get you could probably cut this out if you want, but I'm starting to get like a really splitting headache. Like I can't even focus.
You just want to edit here?
Yeah.
You done?
My head is about to. I don't know if it's because the new medication or if it's just because I haven't eaten.
Dude, I don't know. The blood pressure medication fucked me up for about like the first week I was taking it, and then I adjusted, and they changed it like a month later, and just again it takes a week.
Yeah.
Dude, it's.
My head, I just feels like I got a splitting fucking headache. And right. I just want to fucking...
we'll close it out. We'll go ahead and end it there. Be short. We come fine with that.
Okay.
Alright, there we go. Tangents. Jesus. Society. Falling apart. The fuck. I don't know what else to say. Ladies and gentlemen, that will be episode 30 of the Bangcast. I'm, of course, Gregor Guy.
My name's Casey.
And everyone out there watching, enjoy the rest of your week.